Always Irish. Yeah. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. What are you doing? Don't do this to me, Harry! The Ohio State. It's Ohio State! What do you mean, the? It's a poison! I almost stroked out and died over it. I'm glad to be at the party. I'm mad we're this late. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship! That helps the defense without them even doing a damn thing! Doing a damn thing! The call-in line. 312-988-15. You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Oh, Irish! Oh, Irish! Oh, Irish! Oh, Irish! Irish! Yeah, that's right. Oh, Irish! Oh, Irish! Oh, Irish! Oh, Irish! Irish! Yeah, that's right. That's right. Happy Friday to everybody except for Uncle Luke and Newt Rockney. Apparently, they're here to bring down the group first thing in the morning. Cheesy Pete's. I swear, man, it's a lot to take. Everybody think about it. On a Friday morning, people are probably feeling a little better about things, in a good mood. You tune in to see Johnny in the morning. Boom, there's the negativity. Cousin Luke right on time. It's just wild to me. So thanks for trying to bring down the vibe, Cousin Luke and Newt. I can always rely on you. Now, here's the tricky part of this. The tricky part of this is I don't want an environment here where everybody agrees with everybody all the time. That's not healthy. That's a part of the problem I see with the country right now is you got to be all on one side or all on the other. Everybody has to agree. I don't want an environment here where everybody agrees. It is healthy to have some discourse and some differing opinions. I do admit, though, it does come off a bit disingenuous when you only come here to say negative things always, every single day. That's my issue with it. It isn't, John, I disagree with you on this one philosophical point. Here's where you got it wrong, and then we're encouraging, and then in another week you disagree with me and we debate it. That's not what this is. So I struggle with this, and I get messages of why do I allow this negativity and all that. I like some of it. Some of it's needed. But I admit it's a bit much sometimes. So I'm going to address some of this stuff because there are nuggets of truth in some of this, even the negativity. There are nuggets of some strands we could pull on. But in the body of work, when all of your comments are negative every single day, you can't blame me or anybody else for questioning your motives. That's what I'm saying. So I hope I explained to some people that are mad that I allow some of this. To a certain extent, it's healthy. You got to understand I want that in the ecosystem. But I do admit, man, you guys are a drag. That's for sure. Because you can't come up with one positive thing ever. And it's just funny. On a Friday morning, feeling energetic, everybody logs in to come here. Boom. And the first 8 chats are all negative. It's just happy Friday. We'll get into it. We will get into it. All right. Welcome in, everybody. I had to get that out of the way right away. We're on YouTube Live. If you are here and you haven't subscribed yet, I don't know what you're doing. Just hit subscribe. Also, people don't realize how much the thumbs up does help. YouTube registers that as people like what this guy's doing. Let's shoot it out to more people. That's how the computer works. So if you guys do enjoy it and you're watching it anyways, hit a thumbs up. It really does make a difference. Notifications on. You and I know we both know why. Geez, I chopped that one up. Notifications on so you're alerted every time a new episode drops. You don't want to miss it. Twitter, search bar, Always Irish Rat, Always Irish Inc. I got a video I made last night. It's not coming out on YouTube because there's some material in there that I'll get in trouble if I post on my YouTube channel. I'm posting it, nothing bad, but like technical reasons of what you could use and not. I'm putting it out on Twitter tonight, and I believe I'm still playing with the title. And I think it's going to be the future of Notre Dame, or is this the future of Notre Dame? And I put something together pretty interesting. And I want to challenge people's minds here in Notre Dame land and force some people to think of things a different way. Stay tuned for that sometime tonight. It's not coming on YouTube because I know some of that content isn't going to fly. So stay tuned for that. I just want to challenge Notre Dame folks' minds. Okay. Call in line 312-900-8815. Open lines, big picture college football, specific Notre Dame stuff. Couple things I'm interested in knowing in the chat is if you're on social media at all, you saw all of the drama yesterday talking about the Under Armour deal, who Notre Dame should go with for a clothier, whether it's Jordan Brand, Nike. I don't even know if Adidas is in the mix. New Balance. I know they have some modern baseball cleats. A lot of the pros and college teams have that look different than the lawnmower shoes everybody's grandpa has in the garage, 3 feet wide, the wide, blocky, white New Balances. I don't know, but I would like to know where you want that to go. What do you think would be the best deal for Notre Dame? And for you, is it a matter of you want cool clothes to buy? Is it a matter of you want to see that Nike swoosh? A lot of people like the jump man connecting with Notre Dame, like champion Jordan Brand, champion Notre Dame brand, like these icons. Other people don't like it, either because Michigan uses it or because it's going to mess with their mind seeing the Jordan logo on a Notre Dame football jersey and it takes away from our authentic feel, whatever. I would love to know where you guys fall on that. Also, with the TV stuff, like these are big Notre Dame issues, even though they're ancillary ones, they all kind of connect. So what you want to happen with the NBC deal is open. What you want to see with that clothing deal is also open. I want to get into Notre Dame recruiting a little bit, and we'll see where some of this goes. So feel free to put in a chat, call me on any of this stuff. 312-900-8815. You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. All right. Let's get caught up with the chat. Then we'll get to the calls. 503, you're going to be first. Hang in there. Open forum, like I always say, all off season. Any Notre Dame thoughts you have, that's what we are here for. Even if I have topics I'm going over, if you have something good you got to get off your chest, call me. That's what we're here for. All right. Let's get into this, and I'm not going to let it raise my blood pressure. I know that's hard to believe. Cousin Luke, I've got a hypothetical question, John, that just came to me. John said on an earlier show of yours that if Freeman didn't get the Chicago DL, Scott, it'd be a major red flag. Now it looks like he's going somewhere else. Question Freeman or he gets a pass. Is there no, yeah, I'm going to question that. I don't like it. It's a local guy that has the grades and is a great player. Those are guys Notre Dame needs to land. Being in an area close to Notre Dame adds to that for me. The familiarity with that area and that pipeline and all that adds to me. So yeah, I'm not going to like it if we don't get the guy. So I guess question Freeman. I don't, what do you want me to say? I don't like if we don't get a local guy that's that good and can get into Notre Dame. I'm not going to like it. What do you want me to say? Yeah, I'm not going to like it. Here's the other thing Freeman's running into. Kelly didn't have to worry about. Think about this on an intellectual level, Notre Dame people. You can only have high-profile recruiting losses if you are involved in high-level recruiting battles. Think about what that really means. Those high-profile losses on signing day that make you look bad and they hurt, or a 6-month flirtation with the guy that was leaning Notre Dame and then you lose, but it's a 5-star guy. Think about what I'm telling you. You can only be exposed to the negative recruiting articles and podcasts and all of that if you are involved enough to even be in position enough to lose a high leverage, high stakes battle over a 5-star guy or a very highly thought of guy. So in a way, if you are a lesser recruiter, you in some ways are going to take less heat because you're not going to get rejected by the top level guy, because Kelly didn't even have us in the mix for most of those players, specifically quarterback. Okay. Keep that in mind with some high profile recruiting losses. That means you got to be in the mix for high profile guys. Nobody's going to write an article that if Kelly didn't get a high 3-star guy, that ain't getting an article. That's not getting a podcast. You miss out on a 5-star guy from my area in Chicago in the Catholic League. Now you got a different deal going on. So there is a risk there when you are throwing your hat in the ring for the elite of the elite. You risk losing a high-profile battle, but you got to be in it to win it. Kelly didn't have us even in them. So yeah, you got to get over the hump and land some. Notre Dame. Let's make that clear right now. I am not comfortable with people. I'm seeing some of this and I'm not comfortable with it. I admit, like, it's never been harder to recruit to Notre Dame. All right. With NIL, pay for play, and all that stuff. It has never been harder to recruit to Notre Dame. Ever. There's never been a point in time where it's been harder. It is. However, I am not comfortable going, oh, pay for play. There's not, whatever. I guess we'll just, 12 is the best we could be for recruiting every year because we don't do pay for play. That's fine. I guess we just got to be okay with that. I can't do that. I can't do it. It can't. You can't. I acknowledge, like, sometimes I wish Marcus Freeman was here 4 years ago as the head coach, before all the NIL and everything, and see what he could do in recruiting then. Before this pay for play was so much in play, sometimes I wonder what Freeman's energy on the recruiting trail could have been like at Notre Dame in a window before you had to combat that, which there's no easy answer for. There's no easy answer for that. If a guy's picking a bag full of money, you saying, don't you want a good degree? Good luck. Like, that's just going to be a tough sell. I understand the value of the 4 for 40. Try telling a 17-year-old who's getting a few $1 million that. I'm sorry. It's a tough sell. Even though I value it, it's a tough sell. It really is. But I am not comfortable saying, I acknowledge that it's a harder job for Marcus to get over the elite recruiting up than Kelly. Let's lower the bar. I can't do that. I can't. And the reason why is Cousin Luke will like this. I have to stay philosophically true to my take. When I was saying I wanted Freeman to get this job, I was saying, here's what you got. Here's the dynamic. If you make Freeman the head guy, what he's lacking in experience of coaching, I'm hopeful he will make up for quickly with his personality and the way he unifies the group and can communicate and all of that. But mostly it was on the back of elite recruiting as the engine driving all this. And the idea is he would kind of figure the coaching part out as he goes, but be compiling elite talent as we go. And so I said, as long as he maintains that personality and demeanor, the way he interacts, and the recruiting stays at an elite level, I'm cool going for the journey of a guy learning as he goes and all that. I need Marcus, even in the midst of these tough dynamics that are ever changing against us in recruiting, in my opinion. I still need you to get there. I do. I need you to get there. I can't have you learning on the job and you're not recruiting elitely. That was like the selling point. So I don't expect the number one class. I don't think that's realistic. But if you say 4, 5, 6, 7-ish is where this needs to be for you to feel like we're in the mix, I could get down with that. You need, here's the other thing. I'm already seeing some people get frustrated with the way recruiting's going with the elite of the elite. And we're turning this into high 3 stars, solid 4 stars, development, gel as a team and all. That's dangerous. You need the bulk of your class could be those like 4-star guys that are just like solid or whatever. I'm telling you right now, for Notre Dame to get over the hump, meaning winning multiple playoff games in the postseason in a row. Build your value 4-star bulk of your classes. I'm telling you guys, I want 2 5-stars on each side of the ball in every class. You want to talk about closing the gap and all that? You're going to need guys that can play right away early and that are elite on both sides of the ball. You just are. Your grade outs might be a great example of that this year. That's what I'm talking about. A quarterback, whatever it is. I need a couple of those guys that are difference makers you can plug and play right away to add to the bulk of the class that are those high 4, a solid 4-star guy, but not like the crown jewel 5-star, whatever. That's the way I see this. You're going to need some of those stars. You're not getting over the hump, developing your guys, and by year 2 and 3, maybe they develop and some of them don't. You could have a lot of that, but you need some guys at the top that move the needle fast for you, meaning year 1 or year 2, and they're moving the needle. You need a couple of those guys on each side in each class. I'm sorry, you just do. So I get the recruiting frustrations, and people are going to ask what the deal with Scott is. I don't know. I'm told it doesn't look good. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't have a lot of details, but anybody I've talked to in the last few days seems to not feel that good about it. I don't like it. But giving Freeman a pass, I don't know what that means. Like a pass, nobody's saying a pass to me means we got this great player right up the toll road in Chicago, and it all looks great, and he's a good player and has the grades, and we're flirting with him and we don't get him. A pass to me would be saying, oh, well, that guy's not good. Who needs him anyways? Nobody's saying that. It would be frustrating and disappointing, but how far are you going to take that disappointment? I don't know. Man, it's rough. Cousin Luke again, whoever takes over after Marcus Freeman, what are you planning on 5 years from now? The guy's got a 6-year deal. Have a hell of a hole to dig out of. Meanwhile, Freeman got a multiple 10-year program handed to him. What did he do with the program? Go out and lose. Again, Cousin Luke is ignoring so many practical realities here that it's almost impossible to list them all at once. Unbelievable. All right. Number 1 is whoever takes out. There's like 5 things here that I have a problem with. He ain't going anywhere. The guy signed, I believe, a 6-year deal. So he ain't going anywhere, and these records are not going to tank to a level that are going to be that big of a red flag. The talent level's too good for that to happen. All right? And he got a multiple 10-year win program handed to him. Well, Cousin Luke, if you're all about winning, let me present this theory to you. This is a big deal, having that 10-win program handed to you. I don't feel like you're the kind of guy, based on your interactions here every day, that you're going to be fine with 10 wins a year every year. Are you? Is that your level of Notre Dame? 10 wins? Is that it? Did it ever occur to you that the goal is more than 10 wins? And sometimes it looks rough when you're tearing down what's blocking you from getting above 10 wins to build it back up the right way with appropriate depth and appropriate talent? I'll challenge you in your mind. Okay? So I have a problem with the first sentence. Okay? And then I have a problem with where that sentence ends. And then at the end, what did he do with the program? Go out and lose. It's year 1. It was year 1. And if you were going to ignore the practical realities of your quarterback going down and having to deal with all of the awful depth left in a lot of these position groups last year due to the previous regime, I mean, geez, go out and look. It's year 1. The guy's got a lot of work to do. That roster was nowhere near competitive enough last year at all. And you're seeing things change. It might make you uncomfortable to learn that over half of the 21 recruiting class is no longer at Notre Dame. Did it ever occur to you maybe Marcus Freeman wants it that way? Did that ever occur to you that maybe he has a different vision of what he's looking for here? And maybe that's a part of the reason some of those guys are no longer here. But the year one thing, you're ignoring the injury to the quarterback, which derailed the entire operation. And you're also ignoring, absolutely flat out refusing to acknowledge the depth issues that were on this team last year that were a direct result of the previous regime. So my big thing would be, a 10-win program. Marcus ain't happy enough with 10 wins. That's not what he's going for. He has a lot bigger goals than being a 10-win team every year. And maybe the road to get there is tearing down some of that. Be open to it. But after year one, you can't be making these big picture conclusions after year one. I don't think you can. I really don't. And again, this is just factually inaccurate. Lost 3 straight games, and you guys called him your hero. I call that bad football and a loser. Cousin Luke, you know who's a loser? You are. Pick up the phone and call me and tell me the problems you have with my takes to my face. Don't sit on your couch in mom's basement, type it. Call me. Give me your area code, call me and have a discussion, and we can philosophically, existentially break down these disagreements. But it does get tiresome when you're a typing tough guy, when I have an open phone line here where we could have a real discussion about where you're coming from, your philosophies, where you want to get, and why Freeman's not getting there for you. If you want to have that discussion, we'll clear the phone lines and you and I can have that talk all day. But you have to realize at some point it comes off weak that you're a keyboard warrior when a guy's offering you a phone line to have a real discussion about your issues. 312-900-8815. Give me a call and I won't even be mean. But I'm serious. Call the number. Tell me to my face the problems you have with me. Let's do it. That's the point of this show. Like I said, I wasn't going to let him get me mad. All right. I got a couple phone calls. Let's mix it up. I need a break from that discussion. I'm going to go back to the calls, and I'm nowhere near scrolling down to the latest chats. We'll get back to it. 503 and then 707. Hang with me. 503's first up. Good morning. What's going on?
Hey, good morning, John. Happy Friday.
Happy.
It's been a while since I last talked to you.
Yeah, I could see it. Looks like there's a little log by the numbers. I could see it's been a while. I appreciate you joining us. What's changing your mind in Notre Dame land from November 30th, the last call, till now? Where's your mind at with all this, man?
I mean, honestly, the last time I was on the call with you, Brian Kelly was still the coach. So my mind is completely different.
Wait a second. Wait. Yeah, this is 21. We're going all the way back to that. Yeah, I guess everything's changed in Notre Dame land. You're right.
Right. So yeah, I'm Manny on YouTube. You've probably seen my comments multiple times.
Yeah. Okay.
I will mention one thing. I do think the trolls that you're often like getting angry about, I kind of find it funny because Notre Dame hasn't done anything in 30 plus years, but we have trolls. So I guess Notre Dame's still important in people's eyes, except us.
Man, you know what? I really do think guys like Newt Rockney and Uncle Luke that troll every day, they're here every day. I really do think they love Notre Dame. I think they're just so, I think they're so jaded that they go all negative, because to even allow themselves some positive thoughts could lead you to be totally crushed if it doesn't go well. And there's like a self-fulfilling protective thing there where if it's all negative, then you don't even allow yourself to dream or have hopes that we could be great. And then you can't be let down when your predisposed position is already, it's going to be terrible. So I think there is some of that. It's just, it can't all be negative, all of it.
I was very negative during like Kelly's, regime. Like I felt like I was always like the kind of like the keyboard troll where I'm just like, fire Kelly. And now I'm actually happy with Freeman. I mean, if you go back to the, major bowl against Oklahoma State, I mean, we, looked dominant. And that was the first time that Notre Dame looked dominant in a big bowl game in like ever, it feels like. In my lifetime, I'm 25. In my lifetime, the times that we've been in the major bowl, we've gone boat race, clowned on the works.
And listen, when Kelly first took over, I was excited. Like that was a long time ago and you were young then but when Kelly took over, I was excited. He was running that fast-paced offense at Cincinnati. He turned quarterbacks.
He had a really good quarterback.
Yeah.
He had a really good quarterback.
Yeah, multiple it was at Pike and Colaros. They were running that fast-paced offense, shooting up and down the field. I like the idea of having the angry Irish guy, in charge of Notre Dame. It all made sense.
Right.
And I was excited. He did a lot of really good work early. He inherited a dumpster, and he really did build up a lot of infrastructure. I give Kelly credit for that, instilling a culture and getting things done. However, once I started hearing behind the scenes, John, the guy is not recruiting at all, and it's going to be a big issue. Just wait. And then I hear it more, and then I hear it another year. And then I notice there's a level we can't get over on the field because of that talent. Once I knew he checked out, I had to check out on him. That's how I looked at it.
Well, I mean,
sorry,
it goes all the way back. Like, I would say 2011, 2012, when he had Weiss's players, when we went in the national championship game against Alabama, he was checked out. He didn't want to even be there at that point. And that's why a lot of, my family members that are huge Notre Dame fans, they checked out from Kelly because they felt like he never took Notre Dame serious. Like after, I would say, the 2013 season, we'd never had a top 5 recruiting class ever since with Kelly.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah. It's just, I think him and the administration started butting heads and they both kind of checked out each way.
Right.
But once I was told he's not recruiting, the recruiting's not going to get much better. And then I kept seeing there's always a point we couldn't get past it. It was done. It was just clear that it was done. And I give Kelly credit for this. Kelly's always looking out for Kelly more than anybody else. He made a great exit. I mean, he landed in a fantastic spot. My word. Beautiful.
It was always all about himself.
Correct.
I checked out on Kelly in the 2019 season when we played against Michigan. That was the last round.
Oh, my word. Don't do it. Don't do it on a Friday. I can't handle that on a Friday morning.
I know.
Bro, that was one of the shows. There's 2 shows I've done on this program that I don't even remember doing. And I remember struggling to even get a word out because I was so enraged. And it was Miami 17 postgame show and that 19 Big House. Yep, those were the 2. I remember being so mad, my brain couldn't get the words out. I was just so mad, and I absolutely lost it. Anyways, you're right. The guys that end up winning at Notre Dame understand that it's not about them. It's about that lady on the dome first, and them and their ego is a few notches down.
Right.
All the guys that have won at Notre Dame had that and understood that. And Kelly, it was always about Kelly first. And that just doesn't work at Notre Dame. It's just a unique vibe. That don't work. It don't.
Kelly created a great foundation so that any Notre Dame coach or any future Notre Dame coach that comes won't struggle. Look at Oklahoma. Brett Venables is not going to make it at Oklahoma. Mark my words. They just went 6-6 this past season. They're no different than we are, and they've been in the playoffs 4 times, and they're struggling. There's something wrong there. Like, it's one of those things. I want to go more on basis with when it comes to like the brand, like, Under Armour. I think leaving Under Armour is the best thing possible. I am sick and tired, and I know every Notre Dame fan is tired of it. Those putrid mustard pants. Get that crap out.
All right, now wait. Let me give you my number one reason to get away from them. I saw a research study that said that teams that have Under Armour cleats suffer more lower body injuries than teams that have Nike or Jumpman or Adidas or somebody else by a statistically noticeable outlying amount. That's a major red flag to me. That alone tells me I'm done with you.
Right.
What do you want him? All right, let me ask you this. Would Jumpman offend you because it's basketball and because Michigan's with them? Or would you like the idea of pairing two of the most iconic brands in the sports world together and leverage it with NIL and build something out there? Or would you want to stay away from that? Where do you want them to go?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you thought about this, but why don't we have like champion jerseys and then we have Nike shoes? Can we do that?
I don't even know.
We could both.
I don't know if Champion, I know they're like a kind of a retro in vogue brand right now, but I don't even know if they create those jerseys anymore.
Well,
I don't know.
Like, that's not the thing. Like, I'm saying more of, can we have dual brands? Like, we can wear Nike shoes. I just don't want to see Jordan on the jerseys. I don't want to even see Under Armour like as the logo on the jersey. It should just be plain navy blue, the works, just the normal, good old nerd. Just give me that. Get rid of that stupid pants, and I'm happy. Like, I'm also sick and tired of the green jerseys that Under Armour gave us. That's not real green to me. That it just doesn't scream nerd in to me. It's like we're wearing Oregon Duck green.
Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen here. It's going to be interesting. And then what do you think about the TV deal? You got the clothing deal and then the TV deal. What do you want to see them do there?
Honestly, I would rather us just be on ESPN because I'm just tired of Peacock. I usually don't watch, Notre Dame on Peacock. I think it's the worst thing ever. I usually, if I'm just going to watch it, I just go to my family's house and just, if they have Peacock, I guess. But I'm with ESPN. I mean, yeah, frankly, I would love Notre Dame to join a conference, and it would be the Big Ten. But
you got there because you knew I was gonna ask if they ever felt obligated to do so. The Big Ten is the most natural fit in every single conceivable way. Geographics, history with a lot of these opponents, it all makes sense, and there would be a ton of money there. So if they had to do it, they could do it.
I don't even think geographically anymore because, like, look at USC. They're not even gonna be, they're gonna be playing Midwest here.
No, you know what I want them to do, man? Here's what I want. I want USC to get on a plane in LA in late November and go play Rutgers or Maryland or Penn State on the road. All the way across. That's like the furthest flight from LA you could possibly have would be to get to Rutgers in November to play on a frozen field. I can't wait for that.
Right. They're not going to handle that. Like, it gets cold. And in California, like, I live in Oregon, and, like, we deal with cold, but not that cold.
Yeah.
Like, I know the difference. I've been to South Bend, and I went to the game back. We played USC back in 2019, and it was freaking cold.
Yeah.
I mean, I would rather, like, when it comes to the TV deal, I think we should either leave NBC, because if you think about it, when we joined the NBC deal, I mean, we haven't done really anything since 1993. If you want to be, like, completely honest, what can you name any years where it's just like, wow, we've done something?
No. Why do you think my hair's falling out? That's why I lose my mind, is because of that fact. Like, even at my age, man, you're significantly younger than me. Even at my age, I was 4 in 88. I do not remember that. And then in 93, I remember my dad trashing the living room in the Boston College ending. That is like my earliest football memory, is him losing his mind. There's been nothing since, man. I'm waiting. There's been nothing since. And even as far as Kelly got us, and I admit he did some great things, there was one blowout embarrassment every year, no matter what. Where it was at in the schedule, we could talk about. Even if it was the last game or whatever, there was one embarrassing thing every year, and that rubs me the wrong way, man.
Right. No, like I said, I think Freeman's going to be successful. I mean, I think, and, I don't care what people think. I think Notre Dame has a chance to win a national championship this year. I honestly believe it. I think, the bar is 12-0.
Now, wait, how much of that is based on, is that like a Hartman thing? Would you have thought that if they still had Buckner and Hartman didn't come in, or is that the thing where you're like, okay, this puts it all together now?
Well, if we still had Buckner, I honestly think we would probably have gone maybe 8 or 9 wins. I'm not trying to be like trollish, but I'm saying how it is. I don't think Buckner was ever the answer. And plus, to be fair, he didn't play well, in the blue and gold game, but he also hasn't really played a full season.
If you don't think he's the answer for Notre Dame, do you think Saban's going to think he's the answer for the Tide? What's going to happen? Is the guy going to start or what?
I think what he's going to be doing is Buckner is going to be serving the Gatorade, the lemon lime, the dark blue Gatorade to the players, and he's just going to have fun.
Now, wait, so what does that tell you then? Because if you told me that he wanted to leave to go play and it wasn't going to happen in Notre Dame, I totally understand his position. But if he's going to make this move and then not play again for the guy who recruited the guy, he left Notre Dame because he wasn't going to play over, it's ultimate irony. And then he ends up not playing there, but with a lesser degree. How is that a win for him? Other than to get away from Notre Dame.
No, he just wants to be buddy with Tommy Rees and sit in the press box all day. That's all he wants to do. And not to mention Tommy Rees is going to make Alabama so much better. He's going to make it probably worse. And honestly, Tommy Rees is probably the greatest of all time because he's going to make Alabama crap. So
man,
honestly, Tommy.
I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see.
Let's be honest. Do you really think Tommy Rees is going to run the full offense? Nick Saban's going to have one look at him and he's just like, just run the ball. Just run the ball.
Oh,
he's not going to. When he sees like 3rd and like 20, he's like, throw it. Don't just run it. Throw it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's going to be really interesting. It's a big risk. For Saban and Rees and Buckner, especially if Buckner plays. That's a lot of Notre Dame risk there for Alabama. And if it doesn't go well, it's going to get ugly down there fast. And anything.
If you look at the message boards, the last thing I'm going to say is if you look at the message boards for Alabama, I don't know if you have. They don't even talk about Buckner. He's like the least of their concern of being quarterback. As far as I'm concerned, it's probably going to be what's his name, Jalen Milroe. He's probably going to be the starter anyway, and so I honestly think Buckner left Notre Dame because he just got burnt out and he never felt like he had an opportunity, and so I think he's just going to Alabama just to see what happens. But he's not going to start.
Man, I just think that's risky or whatever. I want the guy to be fulfilled, but I just thought the driving force was wanting an opportunity to probably start. So
he can't. He does not have good mechanics, and he has bad decision making. Why would Saban want him unless it's just like he wants him for depth? I guess.
Yeah. Well, it seemed like they didn't like what they saw in the spring game, and then all this blew up with Notre Dame's quarterback competition.
Well, that's a Reese problem. That's not an Alabama problem. I mean it's their problem now, but like that's just a Reese problem because
Well, but
Notre Dame.
But wait, didn't something have to go wrong at Alabama though? Something had to go wrong at Alabama to create this quarterback gap. How do they have a top-level NFL pick and then nothing but young guys with no experience? There's not anybody in between. I figured at Alabama there would be a 5-star guy waiting for that guy to go to the league and move in with all that talent. That's worth waiting for.
Well, they have top 5 recruiting classes every year, so there's something wrong.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I honestly think it's top 3.
Did you get?
Like I said, Alabama is going to lose at least 3 or 4 games. Just watch. They're going to lose to LSU. They're going to lose to Auburn somehow, and they're going to probably lose to Georgia.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's going to be interesting, but I'm going to be very interested in LSU versus Alabama this year. It's going to be a kind of interest I've never had in that game before. I'm just mad it's going to be on the same time as us and Clemson. Hey, thanks for calling, man. I'm really glad you touched base, and I appreciate you being in the chat often. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Have a good one.
Take care, man. Really good call. Start off the day. Good catching up with people that haven't called in a while. Look at this. Mikey pulls $5. All right, we got a bunch of calls. You guys are coming up. I'll move fast, I promise. I got my tickets for Central. The always Irish bouncer will be present for the tailgate. Dude, I'm just telling you, the momentum's building for this. A lot of people that weekend works for. A lot of people are interested. I think we could have a great time. The weather's going to be good. It'll be warm. I know a bunch of people that are coming for that game. We could really do this. And I really will walk around and you could just be the bouncer and throw people around the tailgate, Mikey. Oh, man, that's funny. Oh, geez. All right, I'm going to try and get caught up with the chat here for 1 minute just so we're totally live. So we're going to do this. Yeah, 4 for 40 is overrated. Well, it depends who you talk to, right? And you know what else, too? So much of this depends on your parents and your house and your environment, too. Like a lot of the guys who go for the 4 for 40 have stable, good parents that are telling them to look at the long view, and they maybe don't need the money now to live a comfortable life. There's more that goes into that than just meets the eye. It's a tough sell when you're going against a ton of money for guys that are that young. It's just kind of tough. Yeah, Andrew, I actually agree with Newt on the 4 for 40. That message resonates with non-NFL guys. A guy like Scott thinks he'll be a first-round pick. Like, that's where you get into some trouble. You can't sell 4 for 40 if that's not a priority. If it's 3 in the league and I only want to worry about football, not books, those are the 5-star guys. Like, do you see the tough dynamic Notre Dame's in there? That's what you're going to run into. Yeah, D-Rock. Good morning. I don't get lathered up over anymore on recruits till it becomes official. I think you're wise to look at it that way. I think right now it's fair to look at it and be excited about guys that are naming Notre Dame as a leader in the clubhouse, but I'm right there with you. Last year was it. There's no world moving forward where a verbal commitment, I'm going to sit there and dream, little Johnny dreaming of that guy running out of the tunnel with his gold helmet, shining in the sun. Nope, can't do it. When they sign on the paper, we'll talk about it. Brian Denbo, John, do you work now for a promise 4 years away? If the 40 speed matches the GPA, pay them. I get it, man. It's a tough sell. It really is. Chief says ND needs to live in the 4 to 8 range. Yep. If they lived in the 4 to 8 range year to year through Freeman, we can work with that. I also I'm sorry who it was. I was talking and I was struggling to multitask. Somebody, it might have been Andrew Gilmore. He always has these good thoughts. Somebody said something about Notre Dame's path to closer to elite should follow Clemson's track and how they built and developed. I agree with that. I've done the recruiting research. Of all the teams that have actually made it and won a championship in the modern era, meaning like the last 10 years or so, Clemson by far is the one Notre Dame's modeled after the most in terms of how they try and recruit and the kind of guys. That is, I'm not saying it's apples to apples, but of all the teams that have made it, the way Clemson built it to get there, Notre Dame's most similar track would be theirs. Really, really solid guys. Find some diamonds in the rough, low 3 stars, but they end up being great. And then you need to drop a guy in there. Oh, yeah, a guy named Trevor Lawrence, whipping the ball all over, whatever. That doesn't hurt. But I do agree with that. I think it was Andrew that said, and if it isn't, I apologize. But that's Notre Dame's kind of track there. And yeah, Cam Williams, elite all day long. You got to keep him. You got to keep him. And I do see Carr working on that guy too online, like all of that. I get it. If ND loses out on Scott and then pundits say that stars don't matter, apparently they mean a lot to Georgia. Anybody that tells you stars don't matter is either lying to you or they're really not smart. That's the truth. Like, I'm sorry, that is not debatable. That is not a theory. That is not something we're going to talk about and see if we could agree to disagree. No. All right. Look at who's winning championships and then pull up their recruiting rankings the last few years. That tells you the teams with the top talent are winning the championships. Okay. You're not going to find a recent one who hasn't recruited elitely. It doesn't exist. And here's the other thing. I always laugh at this. Do you ever notice online or in media with college football, the only people who say stars don't matter are writers, podcasters, or fans of teams that don't get the stars? Do you ever think about that? You never see Georgia say, yeah, we got a bunch of recruits, but stars don't matter. Like, it's only fans and media of teams that don't get them that have to feel better about it and try and say, oh, we're just going to develop our guys and gel as a team and all that. Meanwhile, the ones that really are top 5 in recruiting every year they're winning championships, not just getting to the playoff, winning the damn title, being the best. Stars absolutely matter. They are not all that matters, but they matter. Don't let anybody tell you not. Don't do it. Good morning, Adam. Good to see you. Chief says, I think that's too high expectations. 2 5-stars per class is fine for us. Well, I mean, hey, you're going to tell me not to push it a little bit? I mean, if you gave me one bona fide 5-star on each side of the ball, you could work with that and build off that. You really could. But my overall point is Freeman's not winning a championship without some elite guys. Yeah, you got to develop. Yeah, you got to find a diamond in the rough 3-star that ends up in NFL. Yeah, you got to find all that. But the safer money is in elite guys. And that's why they're elite. That's why everybody wants them, because they're physically ready to play young and they're difference makers. How does Notre Dame get into that mix? D-Rock. Pete said on his show last night, ND is one of 6 schools that are considered a wild card. Said Artman's appearance at ND is a key factor. Well, it should be a key factor. I'm hoping that guy whips the ball around. John, if you're not comfortable doing the things to close, it's just dreaming. Hey, I'm comfortable with it. I want Notre Dame to find a way to thread the NIL needle where you could offer more competitive packages and still be within the spirit of the NIL rule, and you're not offending the Notre Dame Duloc book or anything else. There's got to be a way. Thread that needle. Thread the needle. Tim B. And he's leading for Scott, Rushing, and Robinson. Just saying, that would be lovely. Look at the officials. That's all fine. Believe it when I see it, man. Newt Rockney. John, BK got us to the top of the ceiling at ND. What's the top of the ceiling? 1 embarrassing blowout per year and no major bowl wins after a decade? If that's the ceiling, I prefer the house is on fire. If that's the ceiling, I prefer the house just burns down then. I don't need a ceiling. Light it. Like, that can't be the top. Without NIL and allowing 1.7 GPA students, we're done. I just don't see it that way. There are ways. It's hard, but there are ways to be able to navigate this. Look at this. We're getting some Scott differentiators here. People texting me or saying it doesn't look good. I hope there's other information. Prove me wrong. I hope. I've been hearing negative things. I don't want to hear negative things. So I hope we get it. I hope we get them. I want to be wrong. I'm just telling you what people tell me. I usually don't break the news. I'm better at reacting to it. So if you got that information, I love it. I really do. What in the hell? Something happened. All right. I made people wait too long. My mouse is not working. What is going on? There we go. 317, you're on the air.
Yes, right.
That's
What's going on,
correct.
Big Brother John?
Happy Friday, man. Happy Friday. Yes, I love doing that. That is about, you know what I like, man? You know what I tell you I like? I like when I'm in South Bend now. Half the people, I wear my green jacket around. People know it's me. People just walk up to me and just go, that's right, and just keep walking. It's beautiful. I love it. I absolutely love it. Half the people at that tailgate, that's what they did. They just walked up and said, that's right. What's on your mind today?
Oh man, I'm a big fan of the show, man. Big fan of you, man. The first time I heard y'all was closing down my store, man, and I heard, yes, right, and I just cried, man. Took me to my knees, man.
Hey, I gotta tell you,
crying.
I gotta tell you, man. This stuff just comes to me. I don't mean to make all these weird noises and do all this little stuff. It's just like how it comes out, man. And then I did that a few times, and then people liked it, so now it's what I do. What can I say?
You are the GOAT. You are the GOAT, sir. You are the GOAT of indie podcasts. You are the GOAT.
I appreciate that very much. Thank you. What are your Notre Dame thoughts? Where are you at on everything in Notre Dame land? There's a lot of moving parts here. The TV deal's moving. We're trying to get elite recruiting going. Who's going to have our uniforms? Where do you want to go? What do you think?
Okay, let me deal with it, Big Brother John. Okay, you brought it up. So I got to deal with it.
All right.
Defense, our safeties. Oh, it hurts. It hurts. I was watching the spring game, and what's it? Nolan and Drake, hella ball players, man. But when it comes to guys with wiggle, they miss, and they miss bad. Offensively, I wish we would have got Ludwig. I wish that Jick wasn't so tight with that money. That's what I wish, Big Brother John.
Yeah,
that's what I wish. Those are my thoughts.
That would have been, I think, a really, really good fit. A lot of the things he does, it would have been a great fit in a lot of ways. And if you packaged it with the offensive line guy, I would have liked that too. And then on a personal note, last year, Ludwig beat USC twice and put up a ton of points doing it. Mm-hmm. Dude, do not think that does not matter to me. That was like my number one appeal. It's like Utah played the game against USC twice. Notre Dame had to play once to win it, and you got it out of them twice in 1 year. I would have liked that. But do you think that Hartman is going to help Gerard Parker settle in, and with his arm, we could get things going? Maybe Greathouse could perform young and be a little difference maker there. What do you think?
I think it don't matter who we throw the ball to, be real with you. I think that the fact that we can get the ball out is all we need. We 4-star you. I hear about people talking about 5-star this, 5. Hey, 4 stars are B+ players. If we have a disciplined team, it's all B+ athletes. We can't compete with anybody. So it doesn't really matter. I think that he plays a big part. Hopefully we run the ball, he stays healthy. But I think that's like the other callers said. I believe this is our year. I mean, this year is wide open. Everybody's like suspect. Everybody, USC, they've lost a lot on defense. So everybody's wide open. Like, I agree with the last caller. Like, I really do. Like, just, we can go ahead and sneak in like 93. Nobody saw us coming in 93. We can sneak right back in. It's like 93, come out the blue.
Yeah.
That's what I'm banking on.
Let me ask you this. What do you think of the big three this year? Ohio State, USC, Clemson. How important to you is getting that Ohio State win? How important?
That's easy work. That's easy work. That's at home. That's the Payback Classic. That's easy work.
It's got to be, right? The whole dynamic flip. Think about it, man. The whole dynamic flip. You got them coming to your place with the young quarterback and some questions to a loud environment instead of last year, us doing it. If you don't get them now, when are you going to get them? Haven't beat them since 1936. We're past due, my friend.
Yes, sir.
1936! Almost 100 damn years since we beat that stupid team. It ain't funny. It's serious. It's a long time. It's a long time. I'm mad about John Cooper. I'm mad about the bowl game. I'm mad about Smith's leg. I'm mad about all of it. Brady Quinn's sister. I'm mad about all of it. That stupid buck nut idiot. I hate that bucknut idiot. Don't let that guy in Notre Dame Stadium. I'm serious. Don't let that bucknut idiot ruin our damn stadium. I'm not having a home game where NBC's zooming in on that fat idiot. Don't allow it.
Oh, shit.
Don't do it. I'm dead serious. I'm going to lose my mind if they zoom in on that clown in my building.
Oh, that's why you're the GOAT, John.
I'm
That's
sorry.
why you
I can't handle that guy. You want to zoom in on him at their place? Fine. Not here.
I think we got Clemson numbers, though. I ain't worried about Clemson. You will see because they got the quarterback.
It is bothering me how worked up I am and how calm you are, okay? Oh, my God. I need one of them blood pressure, heart rate monitors live, hooked to me, but live on the air so you guys could see it go up and down. That's what I need.
Damn.
Just another Friday on the grind. All right, you got me on that one. You got me. You got me worked up on that one. Anything else? I'm going to calm down and let you go.
I appreciate, man. I appreciate the time, man. I appreciate the call. I appreciate the show, man. Keep doing what you're doing.
Hey,
God bless.
Hey, I really appreciate the call. You got me worked up. You win on this one. But hey, call me again, man. I see this is your first call. Call me again.
No doubt. I got you, big bro.
Beautiful. Have a good weekend, my friend. Enjoy. Take care. Go Irish. Go Irish. Yeah, that's right. Have a good weekend. Oh, I love doing that voice. I had an issue with that Bucknut guy once in person, and here's how I handled it. So I was living in Evanston, north side, first suburb, North Chicago, whatever, right across from Northwestern Stadium. Where I live, Northwestern Stadium's right across the street in this townhouse area. I'm on the third floor. I got this patio behind me for my little area. This Bucknut idiot, when Ohio State came to play Northwestern, he's tailgating, helping himself to my patio. No, you're not doing it. So I opened the window. I said, get off my property. And he's looking around, you know, that Buck idiot with his face, grown man with silver face paint. And he's looking around and couldn't see me. I said, get the hell off my patio. This ain't yours. Go back to Ohio. Get off my property. I don't like that guy. He just thinks he's a big shot because he's a grown man who paints his face. And then they put him on TV. Unbelievable. Hate that idiot. Helping himself to my patio in Evanston just like it was there for his tailgating purposes. Telling you, this has turned into an adventure today. Unbelievable. I'll be honest with you guys. That number from a call that has not called before, I thought that was New Rock near Uncle Luke. That's why I took the call. The other people, I know who they are already from the call log. I took that call hoping it'd be something new. And it was, and that guy was lovely, but I was hoping it was one of the trolls. The phone number's there for a reason. Man. All right, I'm trying to get Phil. Good to see you, Phil. Phil, I understand you did some ticket dealings with Brandon there, working some stuff out. Make sure you figure out Central Michigan when you're talking to him. Oh, man. Man, I got to calm down. I'm losing my mind. 707 will calm me down. He's always good for that.
Hey, John.
What's up, my friend?
That was a pretty good blown gasket there.
I couldn't help it. It just got it. That moment, me picturing our home TV crew highlighting that idiot in our building, I am not going to be able to handle. I have a history with him from living at Northwestern, and I already have that beef in real life. Me and him yelling back and forth from my third floor window. I don't like the guy. I'm sorry. I didn't plan on that. It just came out.
Yeah. You know what I think is going to happen when they come to Notre Dame with us, in our green uniforms? I think Ohio State's going to try and one-up us, and I think they're going to come out with something unique for them.
Ooh, I
just
like
to take
that.
Away
I like that angle. I like that. I wonder, did they have to inform everybody, or could they do some cool alternate and show up in it? Nobody knows. I wonder. That's a good angle.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen. I think they're going to try and take away a little bit of this, silly, overrated now, green shamrock, green, that to me is, like we talked about before, it's overplayed now. They pick and choose their spots, and that's what gets the reaction. But when you're planning on having it be a green day, once a year, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. It's I don't know, man. I'm struggling with all of this Ohio State stuff already. I'm just struggling with it. Every day it's on my mind. We have all these months to go, and I'm already thinking about every different angle on this, every different outcome, what they all mean, what they say about us, what they say about them, the track of next year. There's so much there.
When you talk about it's going to be, you've mentioned how it's going to be a completely opposite thing now because Notre Dame's going to have the quarterback and these guys are coming up with somebody new. Well, I don't know. They still have like probably 7 guys that are 5-star, so that's going to be the same. So the basic change is that Notre Dame's going to have an advantage at quarterback. I think.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
You know what's tough? To think about? Whenever I'm looking at this and like the future of the program and how Freeman's doing and all that, it's very, very hard for me to calculate out what Notre Dame's capable of with like a fairly high level, efficient offense. I don't know how much that changes. It might make things way better than I'm accounting for, or maybe not. I don't know where it falls. But I am just not used to it.
I think they got severely hit when they lost Diggs in the back, and they got Tyree out at the slot or whatever they're going to do with him. All of a sudden, that 3-headed monster from last year is Estime. So he's going to be the feature back, and if he gets hurt, then it's trouble. I mean, they lost way too much. I think Prince Collie was really the underrated hurt of all. Like in my opinion, there's no way Kaiser should have been playing for all the years he was. They should have just put Collie in because I see him. If he's not making the play, he's right there at the ball at the point of attack. So for them to lose him too, and Diggs Buckner would have been a nice backup, but those two are the guys that are really. I don't understand how people don't see how good Diggs was. Like if Buckner counted for 5 touchdowns, Diggs had 2 in that Gator Bowl win. Diggs had a very good game, and playing a 3-headed monster, if you don't, that means you don't get the ball very much. And he got 800 yards without getting the ball as a feature back.
Yeah.
So that's a big hit.
I think the hope would be everybody around Notre Dame feels very strongly, positively about all of the young guys behind Estime. But
they're unproven. Diggs is proven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These
that's
guys,
the thing. As good as we all are hoping Price is going to be, we don't know yet. He showed flashes in practices.
A lot of people think
Love. He never really played in games yet, right?
I got people telling me Love might be the most naturally talented running back we got. I haven't even seen the guy yet. I can't count on that if he's not even on campus yet. But I have people tell me I've seen him.
And I like what I saw from Payne. I think he's going to be the underrated. He's going to put up numbers, I think, just because he's going to see the field because he's worked hard and he's that good.
Yeah.
And McCullough, he was playing, he got recruited by McCullough, and now he's over here with Notre Dame and McCullough again. So I think they're going to let him see the field because he deserves it, in my opinion, from what I've seen.
Didn't Collie end up? Is it Vanderbilt? Is that where he ended up? I think
I don't think he's made a choice yet, but people are talking about it being Vanderbilt.
Okay, that would be a really, really good fit. And you're reuniting with the Notre Dame guy that we all respect there. They're a good academic institution. That would be a really good fit and a really good get for them. Now,
that wouldn't surprise me. Clark Lee, right?
Yeah.
He recruited him.
Yeah, and here's the other part of this. I wanted him to play more last year too, getting more athletes on the field and let them kind of run around and learn their way through whatever. I wanted that too. The one thing with that is people will say, linebacker, there's a group there you could work with. Like of all the positions, like linebacker, people feel like there's a lot of options here that could work themselves out to where maybe that's not a huge
loss. Yeah, but they're going to wind up, for some reason, Golden likes Kaiser and Bertrand. And to me, they both had very not good years. I mean, last year they were both not great,
Let me blow your mind.
About the D line. Well, the linebackers need to make plays too, And,
let me make you mad.
Like Notre Dame got killed. Linebacker play has been terrible.
I saw a list on Twitter. I believe it was On3 put it out yesterday, the recruiting service. And they had a listing of the top 10 linebacker units in the country, and Notre Dame was on it. And a bunch of people on Twitter were like, what are they looking at that I'm missing? I literally saw it yesterday. They had our linebacking starting unit listed as a top 10 unit. They did. What are you and I not seeing them not make the play? What are we missing, man? What are you and I missing?
I think they're looking at the number of years with the program. And I think that's the only thing they should be. Because how many sacks and how many tackles, like you said, the guy that's going to be leading coming back is Botelho with like 32 tackles or something. So these linebackers didn't do crap last year.
Yeah. It's really frustrating. And what I always get told is, you are only focusing on the handful of plays where something goes wrong, but 90% of the time they're where they need to be, and that reliability. And Bertrand is reliable and he's going to be where he needs to be. It's just, it doesn't matter to me if you're good 95%, but the 5% kill us, then it doesn't matter if you're good the other 95, right?
Yeah, they don't wrap, everyone likes to think they can deliver a big hit, and that's what gets the crowd to go, ooh, but it's got to be wrap them up, and the linebackers just don't do that.
Hey, Cousin Luke,
the only guy.
Luke, call me. I'm not going to sit here and let you just badmouth me like a little tough guy type and troll. Call me up. I'll free the lineup. 312-900-8815. Quit typing like a tough guy. Call me and tell me your problems. Quit being soft. The phone line's here for this point. Call it up on a Friday. Anyways, back to this discussion. What were you saying so eloquently?
I don't remember. I'm too old. But what I will tell you is one of my major beefs that no one seems to want to put the blame on, and to me it's Swarbrick. It's
a touchy subject.
Well, I know the reason.
It's a touchy subject.
Well, you know what he did? He made his job easier. Like, what was the benefit of committing to 5 games against the ACC? It was to Notre Dame. There was nothing. You don't get a championship game potential, and you have 5 games now that Swarbrick doesn't have to work to negotiate other teams and be independent. I mean, this independent idea, when you're playing 5 games against an ACC league, it's not independent. You're committing to this, and that only is beneficial to Swarbrick. It makes his job easier in scheduling. Like they should have just joined the Big Ten. And why the ACC? I don't get it, because in hockey, what are they? The Big Ten. In baseball, are they ACC? If you're going to commit to a conference, then commit all the way. But don't play these 5 games that are just silly and call yourself an independent, because you're not. That's like half of your season.
Yeah. You know what? I
So
think, man?
he
Listen,
made it easy on himself in scheduling.
not only that,
it did nothing for Notre Dame to join that conference for 5 games.
yeah, I don't know. It was an interesting test run, like of what some of that life would be like. But my conclusion is, man, it gets a little boring. If you're not playing Clemson or Miami or Florida
Right.
State, it gets real boring playing that ACC rotation. If it's one of those three, then it's a big deal. Or like, I guess, North Carolina with Drake May. But like a lot of those games just get boring and repetitive. I agree with you.
Yeah, especially because they're considered like the weakest conference, So it makes no sense. They should just join the Big Ten, and that'll even make Swarbrick's job easier. Like, why he wouldn't do that, I don't understand. He's trying to play this pseudo independence, and it's just not that. I mean, I would rather make yourself commit to 5 games with the Big Ten and have a chance to play Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan State, Purdue, like all these teams that you have a background with that fans would love to see. They wouldn't be boring.
Yeah. I think the one thing, if you ended up in the Big Ten, the one thing it would do is eliminate your financial worries. You'd be looking at about $90 million a year on the TV deal, and that's a lot of cash to work with. So it would eliminate that. But let me ask you, you're a longtime Notre Dame guy. You're older than myself. Would it hurt you at all to see us lose that independence? If we ended up making it further, would it not feel the same to you? Because it would feel like we took a shortcut because our natural way got too hard. How would you frame that in your mind?
Well, I'm, right off the bat, I'm against this idea that we are independent. If we commit to 5 games with the ACC, that's not independence. You can take those 5 games and say, okay, let's play Texas or Texas A&M, or let's have a home and home with Alabama. You have the options of making your schedule as difficult or as easy as you want it to be if you're truly independent. And that's when they used to be able to get,
or if you're Michigan, or if you're Michigan,
teams.
Or if you're Michigan, in which case you don't play a real game till November 11th. They literally have a 2-game schedule, and the first one's at November 11th against Penn State. It's unbelievable what they've gotten away with.
I know, but they're the darlings of the Big Ten. Like even over Ohio State, everyone just, it's Michigan in the Big Ten because for so many years, they were the team that always went to the Rose Bowl, play against USC. Meanwhile, we play them every year, So that's another good reason of taking that Big Ten jaunt is to be able to play a team like UCLA and USC in addition to this Penn State, Michigan State. It's just, it makes no sense that what he did. And that's where my blame falls with Swarbrick and Notre Dame.
All right. Well, it seems
inability to be, given credibility.
Now
they don't until they beat Ohio State, until they shut those stupid mouths up. They're not going to have credibility.
Yeah, it's tough. It's true. The only way to get that is to win a couple of those big games. And but let me see. I think it looks like Jack's still gonna be around to be able to negotiate whatever the new TV deal is, right? Like he's not retiring, and they're having those discussions now. So I wonder what they're going to come up with there.
Why should he retire? He's got the easiest job at Notre Dame.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I just kept hearing he's going to retire sometime, and that time never comes. Do you trust him to get a good TV deal, or what do you want him to do there?
I don't trust him to get any kind of good deal. This last thing where we're going to be in the playoffs and we can't get a top 4 seeding, is that a good negotiated deal?
Yeah.
Joining the ACC, was that a good deal? No, it benefited him.
I don't know, man. I mean, what if that playoff group said, if you don't agree to this, you're out because you're not in a Power 5 conference, and that's how, I don't know. I questioned it too, though, when he agreed to give up the bye. I did question that, but the benefit would be if you're that good that you're that high, you're at least going to have a home game the week of Christmas. That's a pretty big advantage for Notre Dame.
Well, I think Notre Dame could figure out teams to play, and then if they go undefeated, throughout, then that's just going to be on the committee. It's only one more year, but that'll be on the selection committee to hold them out with an undefeated record. If all these, big Power 5 conferences say, no, we don't really need to play you, they'll find enough people. They'll schedule Washington or Oregon and Oklahoma. They'll do fine if it comes to be that these clowns in the Big Ten and SEC want to try and keep them out of competition.
Yeah,
whatever. They'll make it.
The one thing with the Big Ten is, I have my anger towards them about how we were treated by Fielding Yost and the anti-Catholic immigrant, openly bigoted against us in that regard, telling everybody else to blackball us, not schedule us, not play us. In a way, we have him to thank for what Notre Dame became, because that forced Notre Dame to get on a train and go to New York and get on a train and go all the way to LA to find good teams to play with. And in a way, that ended up being like broadening Notre Dame's brand by them blackballing us. However, all of that, USC joining the Big Ten, man, that's like a kicker there. That like, if that had to ever happen, then Notre Dame had to do it. You got them in that conference. Man, that's a big deal. That would be a big deal because that's our number one rival every year. You don't want to not play. And then you would be able to have that too.
Right. Yeah. And UCLA, I'd be, when they had that quarterback last year and then that running back Charbonnet and the quarterback was very good. They were a good team last year.
Yeah. And I don't know, man. It's a changing world, but I really want to see a few of these dynamics. What happens with the TV deal and the dollars? Xander Cruz here asked, what financial worries? Here's what I'm referencing when I was talking about the financial worries is the Big Ten payout for the TV deal is going to be around $90 million per team per year, no matter what, how good you are on the field. Notre Dame has to land a deal that puts us in that ballpark to stay relevant and competitive financially. Okay, that's what I'm saying, the financial worries. You're getting $22 million a year or whatever, and they're making 90, you're dead.
Well, let me ask you this, John. Do you trust that Swarbrick will be able to deliver something that's close?
You have to. You have to, or your main job of being athletic director, protecting all of these interests, you failed. He has no option. He has to. Notre Dame can't accept a deal for $45 million a year, and the Big Ten's getting 90. You are dead as a program then. There's no way with resources you could possibly keep up, because 45 behind this year is 90 after 2 years. You can't do it. So it doesn't have to be as much. It has to be in the ballpark enough to where I don't cringe and go, too big of a gap. He's got to. There is no other angle. He has to.
Yeah.
I don't know who it's going to be with, but he's got to figure it out.
What's that?
I said, I don't know who with, but he has no choice but to figure that out. Let me ask you this. You're talking about the Big Ten. Let me bring this up to you. They're going to have games on NBC for the Big Ten this fall. Is there any arrangement where Notre Dame could kind of piggyback some of their thing to kind of share revenue on the overlapping NBC games with the Big Ten? Like not fully being in their Big Ten deal, but having some agreement within the NBC network where they all benefit. Like, I'm not in those negotiations. It just seems to me there's got to be a way.
Yeah, well, I think it was already discussed for them to have made the commitment to the Big Ten. I think that they probably had a discussion with Notre Dame about it. So whatever is going to shake out from that, we don't know yet. But
yeah, I would just think they all want more money, and Notre Dame brings ratings, whether it's people who hate us or love us. There's eyeballs on the screen, unless it's on Peacock that week. And I'm kind of hoping if we do the Central Michigan tailgate, that'd be beautiful, because then I won't have to watch the game on Peacock. Because if they do a game on Peacock, that's going to be the one. Nate, it isn't going to be the first game of the year. Tennessee State, the first home game of the year, you're not going to do that for. And it'd be a bad look societally for all that Tennessee State represents if you don't have that on TV. That'll never happen. NC State's away. CMU is going to be the Peacock game. I'm going to be there for it, so I ain't worried about it.
Yeah, that's another thing. I just, being an old timer, scheduling teams like Tennessee State and Western Michigan, it does nothing for me. Like that Saturday is like, okay, I can do something else and just tape the game. And
you know what, buddy? Buddy? You probably thought that about Stanford or Marshall last year too, didn't you? Oh, I can relax today, kick back and look how that turned out. I made that mistake with Marshall. Oh,
I know.
God.
That was just, how do you do? There's no excuse for it.
Nope.
There's just no excuse for that.
Nope.
And
I don't know how it happens. You know who I want to talk to about that? I want to get Goolsby on the show as a former captain.
Yeah.
And I want to ask him directly, as a captain, how do you get in a position where you have way more talent and you're doing this at home? How do you get there? Like, where's the leadership? Like, I just don't get how you end up in that spot. Even with the quarterback going down, nobody else did anything right. Like, that's rough. Anything else, my friend? It's good. You calm me down. I appreciate you. You chilled me out a little bit. I needed that.
Yeah. Well, I really do hope you get Goolsby, because to me, he's really, much like you, very much of a straight shooter. Like he doesn't sugarcoat things.
Yeah.
And that's what Notre Dame should be all about. And I've listened to some of those old guys from the '88 championship. They have a podcast, and there's like 3 or 4 of them that go on. I haven't heard them in a long time, but I don't think they do it as consistently as you.
You know who else is on my list?
It's good.
Wes Pritchett. I'm going to get him on too. He's a great storyteller, part of that '88. All of that. I want to have him on this summer too. Talk about what it's like to actually
Pritchett
win stuff over there. Yeah,
Frank Stamms, who was a beast.
Yep.
And Todd Light, I think they have.
Yep. So it'll be
all
nice.
These guys that knows what it took, to
exactly.
do it.
Yep. That's
they're
what
all straight shooters, like they don't like try and placate, the fans that listen to their show with the current stuff, but these guys go back and they know what the history is, and they know what needs to be done, and what's expected at Notre Dame. And if I was Freeman, I would invite those kind of guys to go into the pregame talk, like with Ohio State or USC, or I would bring those guys in. And a guy like Jerome Bettis, he gets psyched up.
Pritchett was talking. Wes Pritchett was talking recently about the blue and gold game and how Freeman went out of his way to have like a legacy club and invited like hundreds of the old players back and wanted him to be a part of it, share their championship stories, whatever. And he went out of his way to say Kelly had no interest in us coming back at all. If you weren't one of Kelly's guys, he did not give a crap whether you came back or not. That is an unbelievably huge, arrogant mistake at Notre Dame, the way we value history, to not want the last group that won a championship, knows what it takes, knows what it feels like. To not want them to be around your program was a mistake. Anything else, my friend?
Kelly's all about himself. I don't know. I think he's going to do well because he saw the writing on the wall that Notre Dame does not spend money like Ludwig and his staff. They could have spent $15 million and got one of the best guys in the game, and they didn't do it. Swarbrick didn't do it. So, he should have, right from the very first visit, say, here's what we want to do. We want you at this amount, and we want any of your staff to come around. We'll give them each, $3 million. If you think they're worth it and you want them by your side, then that's going to be worth it to us because, you did a lot of things. You brought Utah on the map, and we're still struggling with, Brian Kelly and Tommy Rees recruiting guys that are, very, very minimal talent. Like they have enough to get by,
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, thanks for calming me down today, man. Have a good weekend. I needed this call. Thank you.
Okay, John, you guys love your show all the time and like the fans in there. And I think Luke, like you said, is a really was a Notre Dame fan, but now he's gone past the idea of frustration.
Yeah.
It's not an easy thing.
I know.
To be a Notre Dame fan.
I know. And you know what, man?
So,
this is my way of working through it. Starting this show was my outlet of that in 16 when things went terrible. And I felt like we had way more talent than the results we were getting. That's what this show was my outlet to get all that frustration out. Look what it's turned into 7 or 8 years later. So we all got to have that outlet. It's just don't dump it all on me with the negativity. Have a good weekend, man. Thank you.
Okay, John.
See
Go
ya.
Irish.
Go
God bless.
Irish. I like it when people say God bless. I need some of that. Unbelievable. $5 a holler from Adam Dowling. Can we play that Michigan schedule if we join the Big Ten? Yeah. You got South Bend high schools lined up ready to play you in the non-conference. Uh-oh. Always Irish senior. Adam, I tore some rooms up back in the day. Can't wait to be in the hunt again. Sometimes I'll just be like, Dad, why aren't you as mad as I am or whatever? And he'll go, this is so far below anywhere close to real life like Notre Dame winning football. It doesn't even register to me to get that mad because it's so far below that level. Like that's how bad it got sometimes with Kelly, that it couldn't even, to older guys that are used to us winning or grew up when we were winning. It's so bad. Sometimes they don't even yell because it's nowhere even close that yelling's even worth it. Oh man. Look at this. I saw something I got to hit on. Let me see this. Where is it? Oh, come on. Come on, man. You're not doing this to me, cousin Luke. If my phone wasn't acting funny, I'd call right now. But the phone works fine to stream the show and type the whole time, but the phone part doesn't work. Come on, man. I'm giving you every opportunity. Every opportunity I'm giving you. His phone works fine to type troll chats for 2 hours. It works fine to stream the show with no lag. But Colin, the oldest feature phones have, by the way, now, the most primitive phone feature everybody is the one where you actually call people. And now that doesn't work? Come on, you're killing me. You're killing me, buddy. I just want to be friends. I just want to talk it all out. Oh, man. All right, we got some other calls. We're going to have to speed it up a little bit if we want to get through these. We're going to have to tighten it up. That's my fault. 707, you're up.
Hey, John, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. Everybody's very energetic on this Friday morning. What's up with you?
It's a beautiful day in Eugene right now, and just had a couple of quick. I'll make myself quick. I have a personal connection to the uniform thing. My uncle works for one of the big companies and is a representative sales guy for the company.
Interesting. So
the contracts with.
Explain to us anything you can about how that works and how these are negotiated or anything you know about it. That'd be great for the group.
Well, I only had one conversation with him about it, and we generally would talk about other things, but it's complicated. I think it could be multiple sports, and it has a lot of other things involved with it, advertising and stuff like that. But it's a big deal for the companies. I mean, you imagine like how much you pay for a billboard on the side of the road, but then you go to 1 million people looking at your logo 1,000 times a game for 12 games. That's a lot of eyes. So it's a big deal for the companies. But what I wanted to say about it personally, what I think could be interesting and really helpful for recruiting and the program in general would be if they could add in an NIL deal to the uniform contract and say, hey, our starters or whatever, like add in an NIL deal, and then we'll go with you.
Yeah,
that'll be a good contract. So that would be something I'd like to see with it.
Yeah, that was my initial reaction. I put out a show yesterday when all the Twitter stuff was going on, And that was my angle too, is you got to think bigger with this. What can you build into this and wrap around it? Whether that's Jumpman and you could do something with that brand that's worldwide, even Nike. Like, I'm thinking of it that way too. How can Notre Dame parlay this into something else? Yep, I'm right there with you. You got to get smart with this stuff. Make it work for you. Don't make life harder on yourself. Let some of this stuff work for you.
Absolutely. It's a good opportunity to do it.
Yeah, and so I don't know. But you got to get a good deal and make some decent money off it and make it modern and run with it. It shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah, well, I know personally my uncle is going to do a good job laying out different options for them and asking them what they want and what they, it's a big process, but I think it's a good opportunity. I hope they nail it. And then the other thing I wanted to say, in response to Pat calling in about my call, I just wanted to apologize for him. I didn't realize I had to be a top flight Division I coach to call in with the perfect game plan to lead Notre Dame to victory. I'm certainly no expert in everything football. I do have wacky ideas. I do try to think outside of the box. I'm trying to have fun. It's a call-in show.
Yeah.
And I think we should all maybe do a GoFundMe or something and get him some therapy because he's got to have like 6 heart attacks every tax day. Like if I got him that upset, dear God, the poor guy needs some help.
But you know what's funny is he's usually not like that. Like that's pretty extreme for him. So you got him with that one angle because he's not usually like that. Like he's usually way more calm than me. I don't know what got him. I don't know what you got him that day. You got him.
I got him for sure. Holy cow. But it's going to be okay, buddy. It's going to be okay, Pat. We're going to be fine.
Yeah, I think he's going to make it.
I hope he makes it. I'm going to be fine. I hope he makes it because he is on edge. But otherwise, go Irish.
There you go. There you go. Anything else, or did you just wanted to do a drop in and say that?
I just wanted to drop in and say that mostly, and then just start out the contract thing. Just kind of strange, but I do have because of the personal angle. My uncle's probably involved somehow right now with him. So
there you go. Well, if you get any inside information, let me know, buddy. Give me a call, okay? You know the number. Call me. All right.
All right. Later, John.
Beautiful. Have a good weekend, man. Take care. Something else here, and I'm not making a big deal about it. I mean this. I don't care about other shows. I don't appreciate the chat talking about other shows, crapping on other people or what they may or may not have said to me. I do not care about any of that. And we're not talking about other shows and other hosts in my show. That's a no-win situation for everybody. So just try and move away from that. Like I get people like stirring up stuff and it ain't going to happen. You're not going to bait me on that. Quit talking about other shows in the chat. Keep it about the one you're watching. Uh, 845, make it come alive.
John, good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well, my friend. Energetic Friday here. A lot going on.
Absolutely. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, I got you. Crystal clear. Good phone line.
Rock on, man. I'm on some headphones and stepped into a boardroom real quick before a client meeting, so I can't take too much time today, but I wanted to call in and just give, man, I'll tell you what, this morning driving into the office, man, I've been laughing about the lawnmower 5s.
Yeah.
Just all morning, man. You killed it on that one. That was
like
freaking
that?
hilarious because my dad has a pair for sure. Definitely had the green stains on them and probably still has them till this day. So, dude, that was freaking hilarious.
Dude, I'm sorry, man.
Literally, like I said, all morning, lawnmower 5.
It's just the most like Midwestern-y dad thing. Like just those blocky white ones. And everybody's grandpa and dad has them. And they're all just blocky and chunky. But I know They got some sleek looking ones. Some of the Major League Baseball teams have, like, they're way sleeker now. I get it. But my image is the lawn mowing 5s. And then the 6s come out and they're the same thing, but a slightly different design, but it's the same shoe. It's amazing. It's amazing.
My dad, he's got the white blocky ones with the blue ND on them.
Oh yeah,
with
baby.
The cargo shorts.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
hell yeah!
Like that's it, dude.
And you know what else? You got the Nokia flip phone on the belt on the side, still ready to go for easy access.
Oh man, that just drew the best. I stayed in traffic this morning. That just drew the best picture out of my mind. I've been giggling about that all morning. So man, that was hilarious. I had to call in literally for that reason this morning. But I will say this, man, I got some nice New Balance running shoes, man, and I like them a lot. I like them a real lot. So, in terms of Under Armour, I say get out of the Under Armour deal, especially with the stock information that came out a few days back about that we'll say precipitous drop that they've had, going from 27 down to 7. So obviously, it's money that Notre Dame wouldn't have had prior in terms of being a stock option, but they gotta get out of Under Armour. But here's the thing with Nike, though. I hear so many people talking about Nike. It's not like Nike's great quality. You're not buying quality with Nike. You're buying the logo.
Yeah,
so
you're buying the
I think
brand.
That's something that has to be taken into consideration.
Yeah,
you're not. Listen, I ain't getting a ton of. You were talking about before. I'm not getting a ton of washes out of Nike gear. I'm not too hot on their sneakers either. But I'm talking like, man, if you're rocking that, it's not much different than the Under Armour. So I don't know about that stuff. The reason I think I don't know. Like I said, I wasn't thinking about New Balance with the Lawnmower 5s until you brought it up. It just made me laugh about it. But man, I almost lean towards New Balance only because I hear New Balance really wants Notre Dame back.
Interesting.
And that gives me
interesting.
that gives me a little bit more like I like them more because they want Notre Dame so bad because they see the value in the brand.
And you know what
they
might be thinking? I have seen some of their baseball cleats, the Major League guys wear, are actually pretty sharp. They may look at this as an idea to really break in and do some unique, cool stuff with a set brand name, raise their profile a level. Now, what can they offer and how do they want to do all that? I don't know, but I get what you're saying, that there is a difference in somebody pursuing you versus you going to them. I get what you're saying there.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think like, again, it makes me like New Balance even more because it's not the typical Nike. It's not the typical, like you say, Under Armour. It's not the typical Adidas. And then to hear that they want Notre Dame bad just makes me think like, hey man, I'm down with that. I want to be with somebody who wants to be with me.
That's interesting.
Not somebody that has to be with me.
And you know what else? If they want you that bad, are they willing to pay a premium price to get that contract? Then like that could be in Notre Dame's advantage too. They want to raise their profile on the main stage with a long-standing brand like Notre Dame. Maybe Notre Dame could leverage that and say, if you really want us that much, then, pony up or whatever. And that would just be a new world because I've never seen anything but shoes really from them or a T-shirt that has an NB on it. I would love to see what the iteration of the uniform would look like in that regard.
No, I agree. I think that could be a mutually beneficial relationship on both sides, and I hope they consider that because it would be, you could look at it as being trailblazing. Who knows? I mean, it'll be hindsight. It'll be 2020 on that because you just never know what they're going to come up with. Because it could be like I said, man. Let me tell you something. I hope they come out with the Lawnmower 5 because that's just freaking awesome. It's just been making me laugh all day.
Listen, wait, real quick. I know you're in a hurry and you're in a room at work. I got to ask you, we're talking about this deal. What do you think Notre Dame should do for the TV angle on this that they're negotiating now too? What's the best angle for us there?
I mean, I think get away from where we are now. We're certainly not a priority. And again, I go back to, I want to be with those who want to be with us. And Notre Dame, I don't care what anybody says, the brand is strong. Eventually, I do think we're going to get into a conference. I think we're going to get into the Big Ten. But until that happens or until they make that decision, Peacock is terrible. Again, even if I just think about the announcers we have during some of our games, I go, I can't even think about announcers and not listen to friggin' Fowler blowing USC like the whole friggin' game at the end of the year last year. Like, it was disgusting. And it just makes me like not want to be a part of it. But at the same time too, listen, people aren't going to cable. I mean, they're getting off it. So does Notre Dame look at, being something different than cable? I mean, to be honest, I got rid of cable a few years ago, and I watched Notre Dame through YouTube TV, who just gave $1 billion to the NFL for the NFL package, right? So, is that something that they can consider? I don't know, but I know that there's more people signing up and looking at streaming than there is for cable. It's just Peacock does a super shitty job at it,
Yeah, they do. I just feel like we're second-class citizens. I just do. I don't feel like we're getting top-notch talent or production or thought put into it. And it's not an experiment to put Notre Dame's brand on a streaming thing. Like, it just can't be that. And I'm disappointed with the announcing booth. There's no gravitas. At least Tirico had a voice that mattered. He was a titan in the business, and you knew something big was going on. Even Dan Hicks is a big name, like with golf and everything else. That is a voice that at least registered. I just can't do it when it's a star announcer's kid, and I'm supposed to just be fine with it because he went here? No, give me Dad. You want to give me big time? Have Dad in that booth, and now it's big time. Have Chris Collinsworth wheeling that chair around off the side. Now Notre Dame's big time, baby. Give me the dad, not the kid.
No, I mean, I agree with Tirico. I feel like he was somewhat of a steward of Notre Dame. Like, he certainly respected it. But I would say the same. Like, I enjoyed Drew Brees doing games. Like, I thought he was pretty good. I think he respected what Notre Dame was in terms of college football. So, but then you got, like I said, when you get the national games and they get some of these guys, like, it's clearly like you can see that they're not Notre Dame fans. But it's terrible to watch when you're listening to somebody who's clearly not a fan and just pining for the other team no matter what. So I'm just not a fan of the current setup and the way that they've been doing it. But at the same time too, I have to admit something, and I have to be like, the reason I am a Notre Dame fan, I'm from New York originally. The reason I am a Notre Dame fan is because as a kid playing football and following football, Notre Dame was the only team that I could follow week in and week out.
Yep.
Right. And I could really kind of get tied to the team and to the brand. And there was no other college team that I could see play every week.
And you know what that's
Saturday.
like here?
So,
you know what that's
I'm
like
spoiled.
here? In the Chicago area, that was like, I mean, I'm a Sox fan because I'm from the southern part, but the Cubs being on WGN, people all across the country ended up loving the Cubs because you get home from school and they're the only ball game on every day on WGN. Like, you had a lot of that. I get that.
Absolutely. Well, and that's why I say I'm fairly spoiled at this point because I do expect to see them every week. So when they are on Peacock and you can only stream it and it's a shitty streaming service, it kind of sucks. But again, like, other fans of other teams have been dealing with stuff like that forever. We just haven't. We've been lucky. And again, I don't want to be partial without admitting that I'm somewhat partial because we've had some good deals in the past. But then again, the reason I am a Notre Dame fan, the reason I do love Notre Dame is because as a child I was able to watch them every Saturday
but it's like
them, where I could not do that with other teams.
But the times all change. Remember when Randy Moss was interested in Notre Dame and he was talking about being on TV all the time, and that's why he was interested in all that. Now teams you never even heard of are on TV on some channel. That no longer carries the leverage or weight it used to. And I'm hoping Notre Dame comes up with a new modern twist on this. Give me something new. I'm ready for something new here, and line it up with the new playoff era. Give me something new. But I'm not happy with NBC. I feel like we're treated like not a priority, and it shows. If you're going to treat us not like a priority, but at least go through the motions, that's one thing. I don't feel like they value us enough. I'm ready to leave. See ya.
Yeah, I agree. Let me hit a few other things, and then I'll let go because one, I I'm going to jump into a meeting in just a little bit.
Priorities,
And,
right? Damn work
people.
getting in the way. Yeah. How dare you? How dare you?
Work with these $1 million clients having to sit down with us for to discuss their issues. You know, I look at, I haven't called in a bit, but the Buckner Hartman thing.
Yeah.
I know we're going to stop talking about it at some point, but I'm so surprised at how many people are still talking about Buckner over Hartman. Buckner was not an issue of talent or lack thereof. Buckner was an issue of health. And that's the reason that Buckner was not looked at in terms of being long-term viable. That's the reason Hartman came in. He came in not because of Buckner's lack of talent or thinking like once he was able to get the starts behind him or the experience that he would be able to do it. It was, can he do it for a long period of time? And that's the chance that they could not take. Again, there's so many people who said, man, we let this kid get away and he was so good. I agree. Like, he was good. He had the talent, like had all the stuff, but he has not been healthy at all. And if anybody wants to put all their stock in Buckner with the health issues that he's had, regardless if it's the pair of stairs that bit him, regardless if it's his shoulder, regardless if it's his ACL, he just doesn't have a track record of staying healthy. And some people it just doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
You could argue,
go to the NFL, be a first rounder. Yeah, they just get hurt.
But
you know, it's just the way it goes. So
I could legitimately argue that his natural football incremental development track is delayed by about 4 years, like literally 4 years. He had an ACL year, a COVID year, and then, you're a red shirt, and then you're not the starter, and then cone, and then you're injured. His natural development is about 4 years behind, and I couldn't imagine how frustrated he is. And I'm sure that played into a part of his decision to leave Notre Dame. He's got to be frustrated. We're frustrated. We've been talking about that guy since he was a recruit in high school 5 years ago. We all wanted to support him. It's just bad luck, bad timing, bad injury, bad luck, bad timing, bad injury.
His perspective, his last full year of football was his sophomore year in high school. He is now a junior in college. So
yeah,
it's
right. Just been 4 rough.
Years. Absolutely.
And you know what's tough with that, man?
I agree with you.
But this is tough because it's not his fault. He is a victim of all these bad circumstances and timing all in a row. And it's really hard to judge somebody who's never healthy enough, long enough to truly get comfortable and incrementally develop and gain confidence. I feel bad about that. On the other hand, though, like, how many years am I expected to suffer that before we need to do something else and just admit this is really unfortunate, it's not working? And that's the point where we converged here, and that's why we're where we are now.
100%. Same time, as a fan and a petty one at that, I don't want him to be bad at Alabama, but I don't want him to be good either.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, I get you. And the other thing
everybody's been talking about.
Yeah, go ahead. I was going to say the other thing is Alabama people aren't going to have the listen, Reese and Buckner had a lot of Notre Dame goodwill towards them for being the loyal Notre Dame guy. There is none of that at Alabama. If it doesn't go well and it starts not go well, it's going to get very ugly very quick down there. Okay.
They are year one hot seat, year one, right off the bat. That's just the way it's going to be because of the tradition that they have. There's not going to be a cushion there for them. And I think that they're going to end up, seeing that and being like, holy shit, man, this is a lot. But again, you've had people call in, I don't know if it was Pat or somebody else, but they talked about how does Tommy Reese not take the opportunity to go there? And I agree 1,000%, dude. Like, listen, if your future is you want to be a head coach, then and Nick Saban offers you a job and you look at where his prior OCs have gone, then you got to go take that job. And I don't blame the guy for it. I don't think he was a great coordinator for us.
Yeah, but
I don't
listen,
think he was a great developer.
We will give Pat credit. That is his angle. And I pushed back on Notre Dame people saying to me, John, aren't you offended that Reese took a equal job, but just wanted it not to be at Notre Dame, like an equivalent level job? That should be a red flag to you. I do not look at those as the same job in anything but title alone. Nobody could tell me, oh, it's a lateral move and that's a red flag. No. That's not what this is. This is not a lateral move. You could say that if he goes to Northwestern or Illinois or something. Not this. This is a totally different thing. I don't blame him for taking the opportunity.
No, I agree. I'll say this. I think like Hartman, everybody talks about our receivers. Good QBs make wide receivers better, make good wide receivers great. You think Randy Moss was good. Randy Moss was great when he was teamed up with Tom Brady. And I think you're going to see our wide receivers prosper because of the quarterback that we have throwing to them this year. And I think that's going to be a pretty big thing. So I'll touch on a couple quick different points, and then I got to bounce. But it's funny to me that people seem to think that coaching changes don't equate to player changes. That happens on every level.
Yep.
Every single place.
Yep.
Everywhere.
Yep.
And because we've seen 6 people go, it's like the end of the world. And I look at all these other teams, and Colorado obviously is a different animal altogether, where they had like 42 people leave, but they've also brought in like 40 people. You know what I mean? Like, but every school is missing people. We've only lost 6, and none of them have been starters. But I do agree that some of them are pretty good. You had the caller before talk about Prince Kali and Diggs. I think Kali is the biggest one for me. I think he should have gotten more playing time. I don't know if I necessarily disagree with Bertrand. I don't think the linebacker core was great last year, but Bertrand was our leading tackler, and maybe he's our leading tackler because everybody else is so bad. But in terms of Diggs, man, every year we heard about him wanting to be leaving, and every year they got to hold his hand and try to get him to stay here. And again, I'll go back to like the TV deal, what we said earlier. Hey, listen, you don't want to be here? Get out. You don't want to be here? Just don't be here.
Yeah.
But we want people that want to be here. You want to be here, you're gonna play harder, you're gonna be better, you're gonna be a better steward of the team. If you don't want to be here, I don't want to hold your hand. You know what, Logan Diggs, get out, go somewhere else. They were talking about him leaving after he originally signed, like his freshman year. So every year this kid wants to leave. Finally this year he grows the balls to leave. Good. Get out. You know what I mean? Like I don't miss him. I think he was great. I think he was good. I love some of the plays that he had, some of the touchdowns that he had. But the fact of the matter is that he did not want to be here, whether it was under Kelly or whether it was under Freeman. So at that point, dude, let him go.
Yeah. Yeah. And I talk about this too. It's natural when you have a regime change that some of the players are going to change within a year or two as the other coach has a new vision, or the player maybe just isn't as happy with the new guy. Like, that is natural, but a lot of people don't even want to look at it that way. They just act like, man, sometimes I feel like if it's Notre Dame, everybody has this dream world thing where since it's romantic Rudy Notre Dame land, we're all on the same page and everybody has equal shamrocks and there's no hard feelings. I feel that with this too much at Notre Dame. Sometimes college football at this level is just tough and it's brutal and feelings get hurt. Tough decisions have to be made. You got to break up with people sometimes. This is all a part of it.
That's it. You're gonna see the changes. My last point is this, John. I just have to bring it up. And I don't know if you'll catch the reference, but see if you're like a movie guy or not. But in terms of Cousin Luke and Newt, in terms of trolls, man, the way that I picture those guys is, do you remember like Mel Gibson's Lethal Weapon, like in the beginning of the movie? Do you remember that movie, Lethal Weapon with Mel Gibson?
Vaguely, yes.
So in the beginning of that movie, he's like this crazy cop that is going through like some mental issues, and like every day, like he'll like put a bullet in his gun and then put the gun in his mouth and go to shoot himself with it, but he can't do it. And then he like flips out and cries and has like a mental episode. And I feel like Newt and Cousin Luke is that, like they have like a gun. The bullet is Notre Dame, and every day they want to pull that trigger and they can't. And once they can't, they just have a breakdown. They get on your show and they just troll out.
I guess. I mean, hey, I'm here for it. I guess whatever, man. It's just been a rough run today. All right, listen. I appreciate the call. This gives you a few minutes. I imagine the top of the hour is your meeting. Get going, but really good call. Really good thoughts, man. Hard to disagree with you on your points. Good job.
John, I always appreciate you, everything that you do. Like I said, man, I hope to come with the Lawnmower 5s. I hope you have a great weekend, and we'll talk soon, brother.
Beautiful. Have a good weekend, my friend. Take care. Oh, man. That's funny. Yeah. All right. So some things happened while I was on that call. So let's cover a couple things here because I'm starting to get irritated. Okay. All right. Now you're gone too. I don't understand what you guys are just done. You're out. You're out. Both those guys are out of here. I can't do it anymore, you guys. I can't do it. I have patience for the trolling. I have patience for disagreeing with me. I have patience for people who think I'm a Freeman lover or whatever, defender. I have patience for all of those things. But these people today pushed it too far. All right. So let's create the line here. All right. Let's create the line. If you talk about anything political, you're done. We're not doing it here. There's no winning. No matter what you say, you're going to piss people off. That's not the point of this show. All right? No politics, no political issues. None of that stuff is going on here. It's my show. It isn't turning into that. You're done. All right? That's number one. Number two, other shows. I am not here to hear you say you like other shows, hate other shows, debate what they think of me. We're not doing that here either. And the other problem with that is you guys just don't get it. Somebody put, we should be able to say whatever we want about those other shows and hosts, no matter what. It doesn't matter. What you do not understand is, even if I have nothing to do with that, and I'm having a genuine conversation on the phone with somebody, if all that gets in the chat, it goes back to those other people. And before you know it, it's my problem. And I get blamed for what some idiot says in the chat. And I'm not allowing that. It's one thing for me to have issues that I bring on myself with the things I say and do. I am not taking stray bullets for you guys to shit talk other people on here or try and bait me to say something about other people so you can run with it back to them and create a big deal. It ain't happening. It's not happening. All right? So Newt Rockney is gone for saying something incredibly divisive and offensive and whatever. And Uncle Luke's gone too for the same reason. I don't know what you guys think you're able to do here with some of what you're saying. All right? If you want to troll me, make it about Notre Dame. Make it about what I write on Irish Wire. Make it about what I and the other callers say about football. All right? We're not doing it. I'm out of patience. So you're done. Here's the other thing. I think it's somebody I just blocked again. I had to. Here's the other thing. You're in here talking about Rudy Rudiger and what he is and making your little sly comments about that. I guarantee you none of you would have the balls to say that to Angela Rudiger at the Always Irish tailgate to her face. Would you? I'm getting sick of these people with big balls when they're typing. Nobody talking shit about the actual Rudy Rudiger would have the balls to come up to Angela at my tailgate and tell her that to her face. You're all tough guy typers. Tough guy typers. Nobody respects that. And especially here, because you got a damn phone number to call. That's it. I did it on Twitter. All you could do is type. I'm giving you an opportunity to call. But today was it. So they crossed the line and they're gone. And I'm asking everybody else, nothing about the other shows unless it's something relevant that they said about a recruit or something. No shit talking about the other shows between me or them. No politics, none of that kind of stuff. All right? I'm getting sick of people having balls typing, but never in a million years would they say it to anybody's face. Me, Angela, anybody else. All right? I love this show. I love this group. I will not allow it to be tainted by a few people that want to stir up shit. with all of us, with me and other shows, I'm not allowing it. I have worked too hard, too long to allow that to happen. I've been through those battles. I've been through those phone conversations of debating who said something about who and whose fans are going after another host. I did all that years ago. I'm not doing it. I'm not interested in it. I'm not going there. I love what we have cooking here, and I'm not letting you guys ruin it. All right? 99% of you are genuinely here to talk Notre Dame and enjoy all this. I'm not letting that small percentage ruin it for the group. It's not happening. Seriously, please just grow up a little bit. Troll me all you want about my takes, what I write, your differences with what Notre Dame should do compared to what I think, what I say on my show, what I write in my articles. It's just so juvenile coming up with just people trying to stir up stuff not in good faith. All right? It's just done. And I can't believe it. It's actually, I'm disappointed, you guys. A part of me, I opened the show saying a part of me liked having Uncle Luke and Newt Rockney here to give us some back and forth and to stir things up and provide some energy and say some things to get people worked up. I started this show 2 hours ago saying I liked that, but they took it too far, and you got to understand that. This is not me being soft. Both of them went places you cannot go, and I'm not risking my YouTube channel for them to do that. Grow up. Grow up. Unbelievable. Please, no politics in any way. Nothing about other shows unless it's John. Did you see what Blue and Gold said about this recruit? None of that drama stuff. And it does bother me that you're taking shots at Rudy Rudiger. You never had the balls in a million years to say to Angela's face, you know Angela's here every day, support Notre Dame, supporting this show. You know she's a close friend of mine. You're talking shit about Rudy. You would never say it to that girl's face in real life. Never in a million years would you do that. But because it's on here, you think you could be a tough guy, type and troll. That's it. Show's over. I love you guys. There's a bunch of calls. I love this show so much. I'm not letting anybody tank it. All right? That's going to be the show for today. Everybody on the call-in line, I'm sorry. Call tomorrow night. We're going to do a night show. Cousin Duke will probably be there. I got rid of cousin Luke. Now we're going to have cousin Duke. Whatever. All right? But I love this show. I love this ecosystem. I love the vibe. And I'm not letting anybody ruin it. Freeman Factor 574. Why cousin Luke got blocked? Saying inappropriate things about sexual things, about politics. Is that enough? Don't go there. All right. I'm putting a video out on Twitter tonight. It's not going to be Freeman Factor. I just told you. Both of those people started saying like sexual slurs and all sorts of stuff like that. That's the line. Okay? I'm putting a video out on Twitter tonight that I think is interesting, and it's going to be called something like, Is This the Future of Notre Dame? I'm not posting it on YouTube. It's going on Twitter. Pay attention for that. Tomorrow night, we're going to do a live show, and we're going to see who shows up. And all the people that, it's not your fault, Freeman Factor. You just came in late and asked. That's not your fault. But I just about had enough with some of this. It's 99% of the people love being here and love the ecosystem. I'm not letting a couple of these people ruin it for me and everybody else. All right, I'm done talking about it. The hell with it. We'll go on tomorrow night. Look for some stuff tonight from me. We'll go live tomorrow night. And the other thing is, everybody treat your moms right. Treat your moms right. They all deserve it, especially mine for dealing with me all these damn decades. So treat your mom right this weekend. but not tomorrow night. Join me and Pat for the live show. All right, I'm out of here. I'm going to bring the dog for a walk or something. I got to get a little air. I'll talk to you guys. See ya. I love all of you for being serious about this. And most of you are great. See you tomorrow.